That's partly because you're on a mobile, I know, Frank. So what was the point you wanted to make?
Hi, Tommy. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Right, I'd just like to hear people's views on perpetual energy. I've always been very interested in the subject, and I've made various models throughout my life, you know. I remember some time ago I spent quite a long time in a caravan with a fish tank, and I had tubes inside, and it was pushing ping pong balls up the tube passing through a coil, and I had magnets in it. But the problem was I could get it to produce an electrical voltage, but I couldn't get the ball to revolve back to the bottom of the tank. Do you understand what I mean?
I do, Frank. Thank you for that. And we'll certainly get other people's views on perpetual motion, I think he's talking about. Frank there in Inverness. Thank you, Frank. Thank you for hanging on. And thank you for your topic. He spent some time recently in a caravan with a fish tank, some coils and a magnet. And he Sorry. He spent some time recently in a caravan with a fish tank, some coils and a magnet, trying to create perpetual motion, and he'd be very interested in hearing other people's views on the subject. Christopher in London, you're on Talksport. Good evening.
Good evening, Tommy.
So,
basically, it's about my and all the people's dissatisfaction. Why would Adidas, Mercedes, HSBC back an untalented performer? Give me an argument on that then.
Right, okay. Who said he was untalented? I didn't. So why should I defend an argument that I haven't made? If you'll allow me to make my argument, then I will defend it.
Okay, then.
All right, they're paying, those sponsors are paying money because they're going to get exposure because he's going to be on the box a lot and people are going to notice him. And the reason people are noticing him, of course, is because they can't get beyond the fact that he's British. If Tim Henman was a Thailand tennis player, you wouldn't recognise him if he walked into your local pub and asked for a gin and Pimm's. You bloody well wouldn't, would you?
He's Britain's number one, though. We're British.
Yes?
We're British.
No, wait. I'm explaining why he gets that kind of backing. It's because he gets the exposure, because of the sheep who watch him and stare at him gormlessly just because he comes from the same country as them.
So why would Adidas, a German company, back him?
And their belief is that those sheep will be sheepish enough to buy the same trainers, bank with the same bank that they can see that he's got emblazoned on his shirt, and they're probably right.
Adidas back talented performers, and they believe
they back people who get on telly. You're wrong there. They back people who get on telly, mate. They don't back talent. They back people who get on telly.
So if he's not talented,
they would back a block of wood.
You just said he won't
going to be on the telly. That's not about sport. Do you know the Mo Green story?
Morris Green?
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Sorry, I've just gone blank. I don't know. What
people have to do if they love their sport is love their sport. What you're doing if you want to just see Britain high in the medals table or a Brit win Wimbledon, you don't love sport first. You love this artificial thing, your country first. Now, if you Right, well, if you love sport, then you should be able to see beyond national boundaries, and you should be able to see human achievement. You should be as interested in the men and women from other countries as you are in the men and women from... And I do not believe you when you say that if Tim Henman was from Thailand, you'd have wanted him just as much as you do because he comes from the same country. So what you've got to do is go away and work out why the hell it's going to do you good for him to win because he comes from the same country as you. Why should you want that?
I'd feel proud that a British person has done well in Wimbledon. But at the end of the day,
you can't explain that. You can't. I want to know what that means. I want to know what that means. I feel proud for human beings when they transcend their circumstance. You feel proud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love humanity when a person does that, and I love humanity.
What if Tim had pulled it out? What if Tim had pulled out all the stops and he'd been returning serves and serving much better than he did? And
the reason it would have been a lesser achievement for Tim is because he learned his tennis, I'm afraid, and this counts against him for me, he learned his tennis on the private tennis court that his dad built for him in his back garden.
That's what I wanted to hear, Tommy. That's great, because I believe the same point of view as that, which is basically Tim Henman has been in a privileged position and he's got where he wants to be, but he is the most talented person, and I think as the most talented person in our country, we should get behind him and give him some support like Adidas.
You're wrong here, Dan, and this is the point I want you to really think about. He is not the most talented tennis player of his generation in Britain. The most talented tennis player of his generation, and I bet you there's 20 or 50 young men in their 20s who are more talented tennis players than Tim Henman, but they couldn't afford to get on their local courts.
And this goes on to my second point about UK sport, was how do we get...
Do you see my point?
Yeah, I do.
And
I totally agree with it.
Is that not the whole thing? And is that not the whole point? Dan, I've got to crack on. I'm grateful for your call, and it was delightful having an argument with you. That's what it's all about. 08704 20 20 20. Of course.
I think everything that you've said tonight,
yes,
which I wanted to say to you, you've said...
I'm brilliant, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
But...
all right, well, that's lovely to hear. Great spirit in what you're saying, Elaine, and that's the kind of spirit that we need, the spirit which enables us to be in awe and share in the celebration of just human beings achieving something, regardless of which country they happen to have been born in. This is the way forward, this is the future, and this is the song which this show likes to...
Looking for somebody to blame.
Yeah, I'm sad for people who've been here 60 or 70 years and don't seem to have learned anything worth knowing.
Yeah.
I refer you back to an elderly gentleman who said that the wisest thing he could tell anybody is not to bother to buy a VCR because the films eventually come round on terrestrial television. When you think of the mystery that life is, to believe that that's the wisest thing you know is... It's worse than shallow. Line 3, let's try you. Good morning, you're on Talksport. Are you?
You're still full of crap. You're absolutely no bloody good whatsoever. Every time somebody phones up to complain, you fall into the same old trap because you're so shallow. I'm off to bed. Good night.
He's so jealous, that bloke.
Hello?
Martin, I should think his name is. He's so jealous, that Martin. It's so true, and so many people read half a book and decide at the age of 17 that they'd rather like to believe that they know it all, because it's laziness, and I enjoy doing the work, and I know that I will know much more this time next year than I know now, and that pleases me and interests me. Let's go to line 6. Who's this?
I've just got off the phone to Madonna. She said she's never heard of you, but with a name like that, you're probably crap.
It's Martin again. Martin is very jealous of me because he knows that I'm a much better, greater human being than he is, that my life is richer and sweeter, that I have more people in my life and they love me more deeply than he has. And yes, I did go out with Madonna. That's just a fact. I'm cool about it. But it really annoys Martin. Line 1, always good for a laugh. You're live on Talksport.
Nam Yaho Renge Kyo.
Nam Yenge... Could you say it again?
Tony, you're very endearing.
Yes. Thank
But
you. But
you don't like it, do you, when people give you what you give them?
I wish they could.
Well, Brenda did to you what you've been doing to everybody tonight.
I thought you started by saying Nam Yoho Renge Kyo.
I did.
Well, when I asked you to repeat it, you didn't.
I didn't know how you asked me.
It needs saying more than once.
Oh, God, how long do you chant for? To go away, you mean?
No, I meant Nyam... Let's chant. Nyam Yoho...
Nam Yaho Renge Kyo Kyo, Nam Yaho Renge Kyo.
Well, hold on, I do it a bit slower than that.
Excuse me.
Nam Yoho Renge Kyo... What are we chanting here?
You're taking me off the point, aren't you?
You started it, didn't you? Who started chanting a Buddhist chant?
Well, I started.
Are you a follower of Buddhism?
I was. I dipped into it.
Dipped into it.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
I was very sorry to hear about the Punch House, because I used to go there when I lived there.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bell, my two favourite pubs. Can I just ask you why you do free screen? Screenless, rather.
I missed...
Why you do screenless? Why you don't get anyone to sort of interrupt your calls? Why you go straight to air?
Well, because there's I don't know.
Because by their own admission, you're getting people ringing you and getting to air, you know.
That you wouldn't normally hear?
No, they're doing it in multiples. They're coming on saying, oh, back our conversation 20 minutes ago. I just think it's funny. I just can't understand why you're... Is it all these new media students that come out of college?
Don't know.
They seem to end up sort of having a guru like you.
Yes.
so they can laugh at your jokes, like the guy you've got there tonight. And like Ian Collins used to have Pete, and, James Whale has this, what's his name, that guy, Ash?
Mm.
They all seem rather thick. They sit there and just laugh at whatever you throw at them.
Mm.
Come on.
Will be worth it.
I want an answer. Because it just seems a new way of doing things.
I said be worth it. Be
I thought
worth
you said,
it.
was it worth it? I thought you said the Pet Shop Boys song.
No, I'll give you a bit longer. Be worth it. But you sound very tired and a little bit sort of careworn to me. A little bit as though you're on the back foot life-wise.
It's all too much.
It is, isn't it?
It is,
I can't help you.
Are you sure?
Not at the moment. But thank you for asking.
Well, when will you be able to help me, Tommy?
When you've made as much effort as it will take me to help you.
But you've not been making any effort at all night.
I have all night.
I haven't. I've listened to you since you came on air, and you haven't. You've just, all you like are sort of working class men with a football background who've got kids who are going to take them to the soccer tomorrow.
Mm.
And you can say to them, oh, love you, oh, lovely.
Mm.
And what the sad thing is that they don't realise that you're patronising them.
You're a very bitter person.
No, I'm not. It's true.
It isn't true. I
I
know love when I.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I do. And I don't hear much from you.
Well, I used to like...
And I've got to tell you something.
Go on.
That, I don't know what the reason for it is.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been a lot of love amongst the majority of men that we've enjoyed having on this show this evening and the last few weeks. And there's been a marked lack of it amongst the majority of the women who've called in.
Perhaps that's because we can read behind you and we can tell that you're so patronising and condescending.
Hark at yourself.
But you are. I mean, you wouldn't give me the time of day, working class woman.
Hark at yourself. Hark at yourself.
You're a lovely, Tommy. You know you are.
Hark at yourself.
You hang out with all the lovies. Christopher Timothy.
I can't help you. I don't know what you're talking. You're very bitter.
No, I'm not.
What's happened to you? I mean, what happens to a human being that makes them so acidic? What has happened to you in your life that excuses you this lazy cruelty? Give me one thing that could possibly have happened to you that amounts to anything that allows you to feel so sorry for yourself that you want other people to feel some sort of pain which you think will equate with the kind of imaginary pain that you think you've got. Tell me.
Oh, you want me to answer?
Answer the question.
Okay, I'll answer it.
Yeah.
Well, sort of quasi-famous people.
No, you can't do it. You see, you can't do it. You can't do it. And it's a woman thing more than a man thing, that. Prefer a punch in the face. That's a woman's thing, that. That's hideous, that. And that is a person who is alone at 5:40 on a Saturday morning. And they'll wonder why. And it'll be everybody else's fault. It'll be your fault if you meet them in the street. It'll be your fault if you walk into them in a supermarket queue. Not that they'll have put themselves in a position where you're likely to walk into them so that they can turn round and go, as if to say, mind where you're going. Oh no, they're not like that. Not much. I have to tell my son to watch out for certain people, certain adults who will try to get him into trouble, who will try to get their dog to get their dog lead in such a way that he'll walk into it and it will be his fault. And I've seen certain people doing it, adults doing it, and they don't know they're doing it. In their own mind, there is a genuine, utterly justifiable, righteous reason why they can do that to somebody, and it feels good to hurt somebody and know that what you're doing somehow will make the world a better place, will improve humanity. And it's a sick conceit, utterly. 08700 40 50 60. Line 3, you're live on Talksport. Who's this? Okay, we'll go to line 4. Line 4, it's...
I think they know.
Yes, I think that's right. And I do think that the search for any kind of meaning of life is bound to be fruitless, because It has to be something much more, not complicated, that's the wrong word. It's not scientific. Something that's beyond our comprehension. But at the same time, it doesn't stop plenty of people hoping that one day they might stumble upon it, or perhaps get a little bit closer to the warmth of it by looking for it. But yeah, you're right. In all probability, we're as likely to find out what our purpose is on Earth as your cat is likely to know how to cross the road using Pelican Crossing.
Yeah. But when do you think we'll find out?
When we die.
Really?
I think so. Well, I hope so.
I believe so.
Well, you can,
I'd love to.
you can just about choose to believe so. Let me put it this way to you, if you've got a vaguely scientific mind. Nature wastes nothing. Nothing. Everything is reused. In many ways better than it was before.
Yeah.
In us, as in some animals, but mostly in us. In us, something is created which burns very brightly for 70 years.
Yep.
It cannot then just get snuffed out. Nature wouldn't do that. No.
There's one other thing. I will think about that. I just wanted to get in quickly. Isn't the universe meant to be everything?
We don't know. Well,
because you said it. When they say it expands.
Oh yeah.
What is there beyond the universe to expand into?
When we ask them that, they say we don't know.
The black holes are in the universe, are they?
I believe so.
Right.
Yeah.
So the universe needn't be everything. There can be another universe?
It could be. I wouldn't get that, though. I don't see how there could be another universe besides the universe, because the whole concept of the universe is that it's everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
So how can it, what does it expand into?
You just don't know, do you?
No.
So we've got to get on, really. Go make yourself a cup of tea.
I will.
Yeah.
Bye, Tommy. Lovely to speak to you.
And lovely to speak to you. Have a spoonful of honey in there.
Will do.
Yeah.
Bye.
08700 40 50 60. I haven't got any faults. Let's go to line 1. Always good for a hoot. Who's on line 1 now?
Yes, your programme is absolutely rubbish.
It's awful, isn't it?
It's either rubbish or football.
No,
all you can talk about on your programme
garbage.
Is football.
It's appalling, madam.
And it's only men. Football.
Men and football. And rubbish.
Yes, absolutely rubbish.
Would you rather have rubbish than football, or would you prefer football to rubbish?
I don't prefer either.
Well, you must have a priority.
No, I prefer to talk sense.
Well, but supposing we can't, would you rather we talked rubbish or football?
No, not football. It's
rubbish then.
It's football,
boxing.
Yeah.
Would you? Right.
Who wants to listen to that rubbish?
To rubbish. How long have you been listening this evening?
Since 10 o'clock last night.
I'll make a lovely trail. Can we have that out? She hasn't. She's been listening for 7 hours 51 minutes. Are you still there, Doris? Hello?
Yes.
Do you just realise that was a bit of what we call a gaffe?
Why?
Well, because if you're saying that you don't want to listen to any of this...
Well, I'm just hoping that something decent will come on.
Well, what's decent?
What there used to be on your programme, I think it's just waste. The wages they pay out for these silly people to talk all night.
But if you listen, you see, the point is, if you listen for 9 hours...
Yeah.
9 hours?
Yeah.
You're practically sustaining the radio station single-handedly. You're practically paying the presenter's wages yourself.
Don't talk, you're talking rubbish.
I'm telling the truth, as I live and breathe. It's exactly listeners like you who think it's a load of old rubbish but can't switch off that's keeping this radio station afloat.
Well, just hoping that something more interesting will come on.
Well, I don't think that's true. I think you love rubbish.
I do not love rubbish.
I think you do.
No, I go over to other channels now during the day. I never listen to yours during the day.
No.
Because it's all sport.
And during the night it's rubbish.
Yes, that's true.
And you've listened to 9 hours of rubbish. Haven't you?
Yes, that's right. It's just
fantastic. Fantastic. Can we snip that out? I expect to hear that through the week. 9 hours of rubbish. Line 3, you're live on Talksport. Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I've spoken to you before, and you probably remember it's Paul from Stevenage.
Hello.
I'd like to talk to you about a subject which I essentially call Only Fools and Horses, but it's about Mongolia, really. I'm sad to learn that the best financial effort the UN can make with its billions of dollars is only 90,000 quid to save millions of people and millions of horses and cattle.
What are you doing about it?
Well, I'm ringing you.
No, that's not good enough, sir. That's a cop-out. If you...
Well, it may be I'll give you a cop... I'll give you it. It may be a cop-out.
No, this is not good. I do not approve of people who just talk. I want to know what you're going to actually do about it. Then you can tell us what you think's wrong.
Okay, well, what I'm going to actually do about it is try and write or phone my MP.
No, that's crap. That's a waste of time.
Well, have you got a better idea?
No, but until you have, you're not entitled to tell other people that they're not doing enough, considering you're doing bugger all.
Well, I can take that criticism.
I think you have to, don't you, really?
Oh, I do, because I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it until tonight.
But nevertheless, your plan of action, if you're a complete... your plan of action should be, what am I going to do about it?
Well, I know what I'm going to...
And ringing a radio station is nothing. No good will come of that. You know that's true, don't you? You're an intelligent man.
Well, that's very kind of you to say so. But
all that happens is that you'll feel slightly better about yourself.
No, I won't feel slightly better about myself.
Then what's your motive for ringing?
Let me give you the reason for ringing the radio station.
Give me the real one.
The real reason for ringing the radio station.
And we'll know if it's the real one.
Okay. There's a lot of highly intelligent people who listen into talk radio.
Forget that. You're already... You've sold yourself. That's not your reason. If you're going to tell us that you believe that the intelligentsia are going to take this cause up as a result of your phone call, you really should blow that out the other way.
There's another point as well.
No, because you've just wasted our time, and I'd rather talk trivia than talk about supposedly important things. Are you up for an argument? Are you up for an argument? Because I'm going to say to you, this is not trivia, right? This is not trivia. No, that's my point. I'd rather talk.
If I write to my MP,
why are you telling us that?
Just a minute. If I write to my MP, please, this is not trivia. If I write to my MP and say to her that, I'm concerned about the horses in Mongolia, she's going to say, well, this is just one letter out of a whole post bag about, which I can totally ignore.
You've got to get moving because Keith's here and we're going to do the fishing programme in a second. So what are you saying?
Well, I'm just asking everyone to write to their MP.
No, forget it.
On the track and do something.
No, I'm here to say to people, don't bother to do that. If you want to do something, go to Mongolia and do something, or go to the Mongolian embassy and do something. But one of the big problems with a radio station that offers access to people is that people pick up the phone, have their moan, put the phone down and think that they've done their bit. Well, you have not done your bit. You've done nothing, absolutely nothing whatsoever. Nothing at all. In fact, if anything, you've made it worse by pretending that something's being done about it, and it isn't.
No, it isn't being done about it. Nothing's being done about it. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Well, you do something about it. You start a pressure group. You start a campaign group. You start a fund running. You start putting pressure directly on the Mongolian government or whoever the hell it is you think's doing something wrong. You do that, sir, and next week, ring me and tell me what you've done. I dare you.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Okay, you promise?
I'll take that one.
Do you promise?
I promise. I'll take that one.
Okay, well, we'll be very interested.
I'm up for it.
Okay, what are you going to do?
I'm up for it. I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Which is what?
Oh, excuse me. I'm not going to say now.
Okay,
but I'll tell you when I'll report back to you next week.
Good. Now you're on the right track.
If you're going to be on the radio.
Well,
all I'm saying is I just hope there's one or two people who'll run with me because.
No.
What?
No. You get on and do it.
What? Single-handed?
No, wait, if it calls for... Oh, yet again, because you're always doing this, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Oh, blimey, all the people you've helped already, and it's only you. I'm sorry.
Well, it's not good enough, is it?
No. If only there were more people like you, is what you're saying.
Oh, yeah, I know there are. That's right. There are people, a lot more people like me, and all I'm just indicating, they'll get on sometimes...
Just ring us
many hands make light work. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I don't. I don't understand that phrase. You call us next week and tell us what you've done so far for the Mongolian horses.
Yeah, well, can you do me a favour?
No, because I've run out of time. That's the only reason. And Keith is here. And I was amused when I heard James called a Manchurian on his show. at 12 o'clock last night. You know what you are? You're just a typical Manchurian. Oh, I thought I could see him with one of those moustaches. Keith's next. Fishing. You're listening to Talksport.
Why am I such a misfit? The Tommy Boyds radio experiment. It does exactly what it says in the paper. I smell bacon. Life's gonna suck when you grow up, when you grow up, when you grow up. Life's gonna suck when you grow up. It sucks pretty bad right now. Life's gonna suck when you grow up, when you grow up, when you grow up. Life's gonna suck when you grow up. It sucks pretty bad right now. Life's gonna suck when you grow up, when you grow up, when you grow up. Life's gonna suck when you grow up, and then you're gonna die. Tommy Boyd.
So don't come on the phone and try and tell me anything. I've been there twice, wherever you're thinking of going. 08700 40 50 60. Talk sport. Talking sport, if that's what you want to do, we'll talk about anything that's happening around the world. If that's what you feel you need to do, why, I don't know, but if that's what you feel you need to do, this is special phone-in. This is totally democratic. Calls are coming through unscreened. We haven't told people what to say. We haven't asked people what they're going to say. We don't even know who they are. The lights are flashing. We'll pick a number at random and see who's there. And when you're on, you're on. So when you hear me say hi, that's your turn. Say who you are. Say what you want to say, and then we'll lock horns or embrace. 08700 40 50 60. You can email the show through our website. Go to talksport.net, www.talksport.net. You can...
Robbie Magellan.
Hello?
No, not bad.
I wish Alan Parry wouldn't ring, you know?
Bedsit land. Have you ever lived in a bedsit, Ash?
No, I've had a mate who did, so I used to go around there a lot when he was 18, you know. So.
I have a theory. See, this is why I believe that it would do society good to improve the conditions in our prisons, because anybody who lives in the same room as their bed is tends to begin to veer. Are you with me? I've read a lot about this during my training as a psychologist, particularly the work of Eric Byrne on the root causes of schizophrenia and paranoia and psychotic behaviour and various neuroses, and he links a lot of the degenerative emotional conditions to a confined environment, a confined domestic environment. Somebody tried. Let's try line 2. You're live on Talksport. Hello.
Tommy Boyd. Tommy Boyd. Tommy! What's your problem? You're talking nonsense on the radio, so get it right. Okay? Goodbye.
Now, see, that young person will always remember that. I would have done. If I was 9 and I had done something like that on the radio, I would remember it all my life, and so would you. And anybody who's going, well, what a silly young man, and he ought to have been told off for doing something like that. Well, look within yourself. You know, did you have the courage to do that when you were 9? I bet you didn't.
What, be that foolish?
Well, take a chance. Take a chance. When was the first time you took a chance in anything?
I think I was born taking chances, yeah.
That's a good point, yeah. That's a good point,
Right,
yeah.
now go away then and lick your wounds.
No,
Your argument is already dead in the water.
No, it's not
You're
already
dead in the water. You're face down in a muddy ditch.
I'm not already face down.
And the blowflies are already salivating, thinking about where they're going to lay eggs. Come on now, you're absolutely a dead duck, sitting and dead. 08700 40 50 60.
The sunrise from the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro. He's meditated within the ancient walls of Machu Picchu. He's got a Renault Turbo Sport and a TVR. He's got a huge bank balance. He could go out with any woman in the country. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a close personal friend of his family. He's been invited to the Prime Minister's house for drinks. He's the closest thing on earth to the angel Gabriel. He's Tommy Boyd.
And I'm the proud curator of the Human Zoo on Sunday nights on Talksport, taking calls live, unscreened, and entirely at random. 08700 40 50 60, or you can email the show by going to Talksport's website, talksport.net. You want to click on the button that says email the show. You can call the show and talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. We've had a fantastic evening of poker on Talksport. There's been a full weekend of sport, and we're looking forward to an exciting week of sport. You can talk news and current affairs. Am I the only person who wants the American presidential wrangle to just go on and on and on because it's more interesting? Frankly, it's much more interesting than anything to come out of America, well, apart from poker and WWF for the last 20 years. 08700 40 50 60. If you would like to perform, or if you would like to talk nonsense, as people seem to like to do, fine, cool. I can't stop you, I don't want to stop you, I won't stop you. As long as it's clean and lawful, the platform is entirely yours. Let's go to line 6. Oh, Ash, of course, is here. We haven't started our game of Snap yet, have we, Ash?
No.
No,
we're building up to it.
We'll get there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Correct. And the final and last question.
Yeah.
Who's pleasuring your wife now?
At the moment?
Yeah.
She's probably so engrossed in a copy of Good Housekeeping that she wouldn't know herself. So how am I supposed to know? Yeah, that's a shame, because the fellow was good, and then he used an expletive which had to be deleted. I hope it was. 08700 40 50 60 is the telephone number.
Okay.
Where are you from?
London.
No, you're not. Not originally. Sure.
Originally, no,
Yes.
I'm Italian, so yeah.
I can think of little more exotic than an Italian woman called Helga.
Oh, don't.
Helga's one of those names. It's always worked for me. I don't know what it is. It's
Well, I believe it's German, but not
I think it's Swedish, and that
probably, yeah.
the sort of Swedish-Italian sort of hookup there.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
Is very thought-provoking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you.
Okay, then. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
You were out of the room there, Ash.
What happened, man?
A woman came on, and her name was Helga, and she was Italian.
Yeah.
What more do you want?
All right, was she up for it?
I felt so, but she didn't hang around.
Why not?
I think she realised I was probably coming on a little bit.
Were you coming on a bit too strong?
No, I was just coming on a little bit. But you know what women are like. They run a mile as soon as they think somebody's coming on a little bit,
Yeah.
you know. If you're working behind a bar and a woman comes in and she says, I'd like a white wine and soda, please, and you go, would you like a Niersteiner or a Liebfrau? They're gone. They run out the door. They think you're coming on. You know?
Well, yeah, it's the way, you
Of
know.
course you are coming on, but
You've got to sort of be as though you're not.
you can't work out how they work that out.
Yeah, it's all in the eyebrows, man.
Now, you've got good eyebrows. We've all done it, haven't we?
I've had nipple clamps on actually once, and that is the most unpleasant thing ever.
Was that a scientific thing, or was it some sort of
From my
sexual...
point of view, I was doing it for a scientific thing.
Oh, yeah.
But it was on James's show.
Right.
This bondage woman attached them to my nipples because I was the guinea pig, and I couldn't take it for a second.
No, I can't
It
understand
was that
any of
painful.
that. No.
I've been whipped and that was all right.
Was that all right?
Well, it was better than the nipple clamps.
Being whipped hard, or just sort of
Well,
whipped
no,
in a
not
kind
really.
of a
Just
sort of
in
a
a sort of
flirty way
yes,
with the thing?
on the edge maybe.
Yeah. Very
It's
interesting.
very invigorating.
Funny business, that, isn't it? Really.
It is.
Isn't it
All
strange
that
being a
dungeon
human
stuff.
being? Oh, dungeons, yeah.
Stocks and that.
That's right. Yeah.
And masks.
I wish I could tell you a conversation on the radio. I wish I could tell you a conversation I heard between Kenny Everett and David Bowie once. I know that's name dropping like hell, but nevertheless, I was sharing a dressing room with them.
Yeah.
And what it was Kenny Everett wanted David Bowie to appear in a dungeon sketch that they'd already got set up with Kenny Everett as a torturer.
Yeah.
And they needed somebody to be a kind of, a victim.
Yeah.
And David Bowie was on the show doing his current single.
Right.
And they wanted to see whether he'd be prepared to do it.
Yeah.
And the pair of them were discussing this in, what shall I say, with an amusing amount of...
Vision?
No, hang on. Full understanding of what was involved.
Oh, yeah. Well, I imagine they both would.
I thought it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
Two grown men talking about whipping away and,
I've seen one bloke gets in this sort of vacuum pack and then they suck out all the thing and he's all squashed in this vacuum pack.
Isn't it funny, isn't
and
it?
he likes that, with tubes in his nose to breathe.
Apparently there's a young woman, although she's probably not so young now, but she goes into work every day dressed entirely in rubber up on the train.
Yeah.
And the people on the train have kind of got used to it. Apparently she gets to work and then she changes into an ordinary, dress.
Oh.
But she just likes to go to work dressed, really encased in rubber. Head to toe, mask, gloves, full suit, boots, and just sits there on the train, from Surbiton, I think, to Waterloo. Because, well, what?
I don't know.
I mean, that can't be anything to do with sort of, sexuality or romance. It's just a feeling that she likes.
Is it not? Is it sexuality?
I don't know. That one I've never got at all.
I mean, if a bloke went out in a tight rubber suit, you get arrested. And a rubber mask on.
Well, they don't, do they? Although they do. I mean, if you watch documentaries, there was a documentary on once I saw, there was a woman and her chap used to like to be dressed up like that. And he used to like to be taken for walks by her.
Yeah.
On a lead.
On a lead, yeah.
With his knees sort of strapped to his ankles and to his elbows and things. It's funny, isn't it?
It's funny, actually.
It's
you
very
say
strange.
that. I was in Israel once. This is the weirdest thing. I saw this guy being towed along in a gimp mask, on a lead. And the guy towing him was wearing an Aston Villa bomber jacket. And this was in Israel.
How shameful for you as a Villa fan.
It was terrible for
You
me.
must have wanted to say, take that shirt off.
Well, no, it was quite interesting.
All the rest of your bizarre sexual apparatus is perfectly
Yeah.
acceptable to me,
Yeah.
but don't do it in a claret and blue.
Yeah, man.
08700 40 50 60 is the number. It's the Human Zoo. Yeah, if you're listening to the Human Zoo and you can listen on a Saturday night and you know somebody who doesn't listen to Talksport, but you kind of like the guy or girl, lady, and you'd like to play a friendly practical joke on them, then get on to me, because we're looking for victims for a thing called going fishing, where what we do is we find out something about somebody's background and then we put on a little broadcast, about 5 or 10 minutes, that's aimed just at them. So if you know somebody...
Hello, and a very good evening to you all. Tonight's small talk guest is Talksport's very own Mr. Tommy Boyd. Good evening, Tommy.
Hello.
First of all, Tommy, when you come on this show, you are going to talk about your private life.
Well, not unless I say so. Even what?
Okay, no problem. Would you like to be in a disc jockey, Tommy? Because I believe you and Ash are closet fans of a certain mid-80s band which most people would not want to be associated with.
I don't think we've had any five-star stuff.
Oh, right. Swiftly moving on. Yesterday, two teams very close to your heart, Tommy, played out a game of football, Fulham and Portsmouth. What were your views on the game?
It wasn't just poor. Some of it was shocking.
And your views on Steve Claridge?
So he was all over the place, and he puts it about,
Okay. Moving on football, Tommy, what about the rumours that you were going to take over James Wales' show in the week as well?
Oh, yeah, I read about that.
And are you concerned that it made the cover of a small newspaper that you happen to like?
The Voice is really... It's a very good newspaper. Their front page is a really good story.
But aren't you exaggerating just a slight bit, Tommy?
This is a colossal news story. I bet it's nowhere else.
This yokel's work really hard.
Moving on, finally, I'm sure the listeners would like to know, Tommy, do you have one pet hate which stands out amongst the others?
I don't like to talk to naked men.
Tommy Boyd, thanks for being on Small Talk, and thanks for your time.
Lovely to talk to you, thank you.
He worked really hard on that, didn't he, the old yokel there? From Bideford, I would imagine, or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
Bideford, would you say, or Lowestoft?
I thought Wet Wang.
It was all right, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, you need to take some of those clicks out.
Yeah. But, that was good. I give that an 8.
That is the next Tony Blackburn.
Yeah, probably. Do you know, I said to Tony Blackburn, what do you say when people say to you, do you get nervous going into a studio to go on air? And he said, I told the truth, I get nervous coming out. And that's a line I've often, chewed with. He gets nervous of real, a lot of broadcasters are the same. Because real life is a lot more difficult than broadcasting.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
08700 40 50 60.
That was a good line.
What was that? Which line was that?
I'll make an exception.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Where did I get it from? That was a line. I'll make an exception in your case. I think it's Churchill or somebody. I nicked it.
Did you know that Churchill never did any of those speeches himself?
No, it was another voice.
It was a voiceover man. Yeah.
We will fight them on the beaches was some actor.
He's famous as well. After that, he became, I forgot who
he did something else, didn't he?
I didn't recognise
I think
his
he was in
name,
Round the Horn or something.
Yeah, in the 50s he was
something like that, yeah. Yeah. Extraordinary, isn't it?
People still, you know, most people still think it was Churchill.
Yeah.
War.
What is it good for?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
I'm actually a Rastafarian, you know. Now, you're a Roman Catholic, is that right?
No.
Well, I think you are, Tommy.
Well, I'd probably have noticed that by now if I was Roman Catholic, wouldn't I?
Well, how? Tell me, how would you know that, exactly?
What, if I was a Roman Catholic?
Yeah.
Well, I think most people generally know what kind of religion they've chosen to shield themselves from the enormity of the horror of the vacuum, which is this existence and their lives.
Yeah,
would you not agree with that sentence?
Yeah, I would completely. Sorry, Tommy. Look.
Line 4, you're live on Talksport. Hello. We used to have kippers on a Saturday afternoon after the footy, get home, and Doctor Who comes on, and out come the kippers and brown bread. Are you there? No, he's gone. Nice one. Very good, very good. Yep, that was a 7. Line 3, you're live on the Human Zoom. Hello.
Bog off and give us all peace, mate, resign.
No, it's you. Hello. It's the curtains,
finished.
man. The man looks at the curtains.
You're finished.
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Comment too if you wish. Even slap your legs and make a purchase from Ann Summers. But don't do nothing.